In the early hours of May 17, 2025, the world witnessed a military development that could reshape the balance of power in the Middle East. Iran unveiled a new generation of ballistic missiles sleeker, faster, and deadlier than anything the region has seen before. With rising tensions between Tehran and Tel Aviv, the launch was more than just a test, it was a message. A message delivered with the chilling precision of modern warfare. The missile, codenamed Arman 4, is an evolution of Iran's long-standing Shahab series, but with one critical distinction: range, payload, and stealth capabilities that now directly rival the most advanced Western equivalents. From its concealed silo deep in central Iran, the missile soared across the skies in a pre-announced test, to one that the Iranian government claimed was a defensive necessity. But experts around the globe were quick to interpret this move differently. This wasn't just about defense. This was about deterrence. And deterrence, in this region, often walks hand in hand with escalation. At a time when negotiations over nuclear sanctions have collapsed, and regional proxy conflicts continue to rage from Syria to Yemen, the development of such a missile points toward a more dangerous chapter ahead. For Israel, already surrounded by Iranian-backed groups like Hezbollah and Islamic Jihad, the specter of a direct Iranian strike is no longer hypothetical. It's a calculated possibility. According to military analysts, the Arman 4 carries a dual warhead system. The first stage is kinetic, designed to destroy reinforced bunkers or military infrastructure. The second stage is electronic, capable of releasing an electromagnetic pulse that can temporarily disable radar and communication systems in a wide radius. What makes this especially concerning for Israeli defense planners is not just the technology but Iran's boldness in unveiling it so publicly. Satellite imagery captured just hours after the test showed debris falling into the eastern parts of the Arabian Sea, far from any civilian shipping lanes. This was clearly a controlled and deliberate display, timed for maximum visibility. And yet, the true target was never the sea. It was psychological warfare meant to demonstrate reach, resolve, and readiness. Back in Tehran, state media broadcast footage of the missile launch on loop. Military officials stood beside blueprints and schematics, emphasizing the indigenous nature of the missile's components. Iran claims that over 90% of the missile's design is domestically produced, to a point of pride in a country long isolated by international sanctions. But intelligence reports suggest that parts of the guidance system may have been reverse-engineered from Russian and North Korean technologies. This blend of domestic manufacturing and foreign design expertise is what gives the Arman 4 its unpredictable edge. Israel, for its part, was quick to respond. Within 12 hours of the Iranian broadcast, the Israeli Defense Forces raised their alert level to its second highest tier. Iron Dome batteries were repositioned in northern and central districts, and Air Force activity over the Negev desert increased significantly. More importantly, Israeli leadership held emergency security consultations behind closed doors. Sources indicate that these discussions included scenarios involving preemptive strikes on Iranian launch facilities. The question on everyone's mind isn't just how powerful this missile is, but whether it signals the beginning of open conflict. For decades, both nations have operated under a policy of strategic ambiguity. Iran has denied pursuing nuclear weapons while advancing missile capabilities. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied its own nuclear arsenal, believed to number in the hundreds. But in the shadows of this strategic standoff, the development of missiles like the Arman 4 shifts the equation. Missile defense systems, no matter how advanced, have limits. The speed and maneuverability of the Arman 4 challenge current interception models. And though Israel's Arrow and David's Sling programs are among the best in the world, military planners must now account for more than just volume, they must account for precision. In Washington, officials expressed deep concern but stopped short of condemning the test outright. The US remains a close ally of Israel, but with its own domestic challenges and a war-weary public, there is hesitance to get drawn into another Middle Eastern conflict. Yet behind the scenes, Pentagon analysts are recalibrating threat assessments. Not just for Israel but for US bases across the Gulf. There's also the matter of timing. This missile test came just days after Iran conducted joint naval exercises with China in the Strait of Hormuz. It's part of a broader strategy by Tehran to position itself not just as a regional power but as a sovereign actor in the new multipolar world order. One that no longer accepts American primacy without challenge. At Motor Authority, we normally focus on high-performance engines, military mobility, and the engineering behind advanced platforms. And while the Arman 4 is certainly a technological marvel built with composite materials, Mach 10 cruising speeds, and high-resolution terrain mapping guidance, it's what this missile represents that should truly concern us. This is no longer just about horsepower and payload capacity. It's about geopolitical brinkmanship. The transformation of missiles from deterrents to instruments of diplomacy by force. The launch also sends a clear signal to Iran's regional adversaries Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and even Turkey. In a post-American Middle East, where traditional alliances are fragmenting, power will belong to those who can project it. Not just through words, but through weapons. For Israel, the challenge is existential. A country just 470 kilometers across at its widest point can ill afford the margin of error offered by even a single missile breaching its defenses. This reality forces Israeli planners into an aggressive posture where the idea of striking first becomes not an option, but a necessity. This is what makes the current situation so volatile. And while cooler heads may yet prevail, history in this region is not kind to prolonged standoffs. Each move invites a counter-move. Each test becomes a provocation. And as we've seen too many times before, one miscalculation can ignite something far greater than intended. So as the world watches the skies over the Middle East, we must ask ourselves, is this the dawn of a new missile age, or the prelude to war? From Tehran to Tel Aviv, the stakes have never been higher. And with every new development, the line between deterrence and disaster grows thinner. For Motor Authority, stay tuned as we continue to monitor this story and break down the technology, the tactics, and the tension that define modern warfare. Subscribe and stay informed, because in a world where missiles speak louder than diplomacy, understanding them may be the only way to avoid their use.